Hello and good morning. My name is Ray, and welcome to the channel. So, this week, life has changed in Australia as we know it. So, having a look, obviously, this is about starting off with the virus, but we do have a couple of other things to talk about. Just some things related to national and state announcements, which are causing a lot of problems around the country. So let's get into it. Um, so looking at the cases, this is total cases of the virus. We're almost at 400,000 as of Tuesday, Tuesday 24. Um, so almost 400,000. And it was just a little bit over a week ago. We were at under 200, if I can count it correctly, 17. Um, So under 200,000, and then a fortnight ago, basically 100. Um, and we're seeing we're seeing these cases get more prevalent everywhere. If we have a look at how the world is going, um, China's basically leveled off. Italy's still continuing. USA is rapidly um, going out of, or like rapidly increasing their case count. Um, just having a look at US themselves, majority in New York, um, but deaths are increasing and new cases are increasing as well. Um, so countries above 10,000: Italy, US, Spain, Germany, Iran, France, South, and not South Korea. So majority Europe, uh, one Asia, one Middle East, and one West. And these deaths are just increasing over time. Italy's under a whole load of hurt, almost almost as much deaths as recoveries, and those still in limbo. Um, but looking at the next range, 10,000 to 1,000: South Korea, Switzerland, UK, Netherlands, Austria, Belgium, Norway, Canada, Portugal, Sweden, Brazil. Australia is there as well. Turkey, Malaysia, Denmark, Israel, uh, Czechia, maybe. Japan's been there for a while, and Ireland as well. Um, so still a lot of European here. Um, Slight Asia with South Korea. Um, Slight West as well, Malaysia and Asia, Middle East as well. So basically just branching off these main countries as well. Um, and Australia would have their exposure through China, Iran, yeah, basically these countries as well, US. And if we just jump into Australia itself, so we're at 1887 with 7 deaths. These 7 deaths haven't gone anywhere as much, um, but active cases, we've got 11 in critical, and we're starting to see the slope rise. As of 2 days ago, we've had the most significant rise in cases, and there was another thing to mention, but no, cases are just increasing overall, uh, and there has been a little bit of, I guess, not following guidelines or like the cases that we're seeing with like the mass increases. Um, I guess a lot of people have not been listening to uh, recommendations by, say, the PM or the government or health officials as well. Because there is the introduction of social distancing, where you basically give yourself 1.5 meters gap to another person or one person every 4 square meters. So that's sort of the average rule. And there was an incident on Friday, so 4 days, 5 days ago, where a picture has shown up over the internet and has caused a great load of concern. So having a look at the date, that was Friday the 20th, where we were at 928 or 172 cases. Yeah, so this photo is actually from Bondi Beach. So having a look, Bondi Beach is closed because of crowds and the virus. And basically on Friday, this is what it was like. Um, a whole load of people congregating in close proximity with a lot of other people. And that does not go by the social distancing rules the government have put in. And the idea is, like for the government at the moment, they're just trying to limit the spread, just so the health, um, like the health resources or the health system does not get overloaded, and is trusting basically all Australians to help and do their part to help stem the spread of this virus. And then this photo shows up, and it just basically told everyone that no, we, like, Australia does not, as a group, apparently does not care. So, but do know that Australia is a whole load of like multi multicultural. There's a whole load of different ethnicities within Australia as well. So some of the communication might not get through, and then we end up with something like this. And basically, what happened with the government's reaction is they're like, no, okay, you guys can't listen on your own, so we'll do it for you. And here comes um, the PM announcing on Sunday night, 2 days ago, that life is set to change from midday as PM announces raft of new social restrictions, which is basically they're forcing a national closure of pubs, clubs, hotels, gyms, indoor sporting venues, cinemas, venues, casinos, and nightclubs from 12 p.m. Monday. 12 p.m. Monday. Um, and most of these are generally social, um, like places of social gathering, but it is also workplaces as well. So a lot of people have their workplaces closed, and this is to stem like social gathering. Uh, just having a look at here, uh, PM just mentioning practicing good hygiene and keeping a healthy distance between individuals is our most powerful weapon in fighting this virus and saving lives. The failure of some businesses and members of the public to do so, this puts people's lives at risk. And that goes back to the Bondi Beach situation. So, um, yeah, just learning about this, um, and seeing that a lot of businesses will close, uh, is causing the shock that uh, that the PM did not want in the first place, because the Prime Minister uh, did not want economic impact, and you could see that with his responses uh, over the past couple of days, and past couple of days and weeks, wanting to keep everything open as long as possible. No, we don't want to. We don't. We don't want people to lose jobs, and Australia says no. Um, no, we don't care as an idea. And it's like, okay, so you guys don't care about your jobs. Shut. So yeah, this is throwing a lot of people out of their jobs at the moment, and the next page is a little bit of a shock because for myself, I have not seen this ever, since basically since I've been born, as the last recession I was only a child for. So next page. The second days of queues outside Centrelink as millions of Australians face unemployment. So this is basically what a recession type situation looks like, where rather than positive growth uh, goes on throughout time, it is negative growth as time goes on. So we're seeing a little bit of um, a shock to the economy. So all of these people have lost their jobs. Looking at some of these people's, they're like chefs, a lot of just general uh, team members or staff members, and just a whole load of people out of their jobs, and they're causing like lines outside of Centrelink, which is just where unemployed people go, I guess, um, as they look for government benefits. But all of this is sort of not their fault. Like it's not any one individual's uh, fault for all of these people losing their jobs. It is a number of factors, but the shock to the economy should be appearing over the next couple of days as well, with millions out of their jobs. They don't have income to spend, and then those people unable to spend at other businesses, forcing their sales to drop and not be able to, or will cause them to let go of their staff, um, or reduce or stand down their staff, um, and yeah, basically the cycle has begun, and I guess the Australian recession has begun as well. Because the problem with this is, as the virus continues, these, businesses will remain closed, and potentially face like liquidation, administration, things like that, as their like financial balance sheets aren't strong, and a whole load of other things. But if we have a look at um, the unemployed rate, unemployment was sitting between 5.1, 5.3%, and this was before all of this. And it just mentions that some senior figure has forecasted that it could potentially be 15% unemployment, so 3 times as much. And that the jobless rate will be as bad as the Great Depression, which I believe was 1929. And yeah, just trying to find a couple of more photos. These people lining up since 4:30 a.m. as these lines go on for hours, with people just trying to get some assistance, as like some of these people have not received assistance like ever, and just due to the job position that they are in, um, and the circumstances going on, they need help. And it's not only like these people, there's loads of people. Loads of people need assistance, and it's, yeah, just a concerning time. And yeah, just with all of this impact, the markets have still continued to drop. So looking at the ASX 200, the top 200 countries, companies in Australia, from the high, currently down 36%. 36% in a month. That is one of the fastest drops. And if you recall previous videos, 10% is a correction, which also happened at the end of 2018 as well. Bear markets, which is 20%, which would be like the 2008, 2009 GFC, and then we're almost 40% down. GFC was around about 50%, so we're almost as bad as the GFC, and all of these gains wiped out. And yeah, a lot of these companies have just still continued to plummet. Some of these companies are actually doing okay with their share price as well. Um, like example, Coles and Woolworths still going well. A lot of people are still buying as they're still open. And all of the banks have been hit with their interest rates are down. And a lot of REITs have also been hit as well, since they mainly are generally in debt. But yeah, market's still not going well. The further this goes down, the further the better price opportunities for all of these companies gets better. But there is a little bit of cause and concern, since at the moment, with the cases, with the virus cases increasing, it becomes more likely that my workplace will also be affected. and closure and like um, reduced staff is a bit of a reduced staff is a bit of a likelihood now, with people being starting to lose hours, etc. For me, it's it's okay since it's my decision, um, just the position I'm currently in. Um, so it's my decision on what to do with other people's stuff. So um, it's actually really tough to let other people know that, sorry, the this particular business is going in this direction, therefore we have to do this. And it's just the way it's currently going with the economic impacts, and not everyone is immune. And yeah, it just gets a little bit concerning. So if we jump into personal finance, at the moment we're currently at 24,000, 25,000 from the recent highs. Don't know what this is. 25,000 from the recent highs, and this is down 21%. Yeah, down 21% from last month. And at the moment, I still believe that this is fine. This is fine as the if we're having a look at the ASX 200, we're down 36. So being down 21 on average, for it to make its way, for the market to make its way back up to where it was before, you should see all of this increasing as well. Some notable things: Spaceship is almost doubled, just throwing like a steady stream of cash into Spaceship. Shares, there's some dividends coming through, but there's also dividends being withheld as well, just due to the recent situations, which is understandable. Still going to hold on to it. And Super is down a little bit as well, and just starting to build up my cash positions a little bit more. So looking at the graph, we're at 74.7k. That's almost a year shaved off. A year of my personal finance shaved off. But the markets have actually hit an 8-year low. An 8-year low. So this is okay, this is fine. Continue on. Shares are taking a hit. Super's not taking as much of a hit. And debt is sitting around about $4,000, which I would like to start chipping away at this again, but we'll see how things go in the future. Looking at Super, so previously I did have about 45% of my Super account in bonds and capital stable. The bonds part is sitting at like 24,000. No, not 24,000. 25%. And literally the month before, these bonds would have come in a little bit stronger than these capital stables. The market drops the month later, so that's okay, but still maintaining that defensive position, which is not as defensive as before, but it would have been great to know, great to have. But still, capital stable still holding up pretty well. Since March, this has only decreased 5.57%, and then as we trend further away from defensive assets like bonds and cash, and moving towards uh, equities and leverage, which is mainly what this accelerated growth is, and then balanced and growth are in between. You can see that from balanced onwards, the more you trend into equities, the worse it gets. But that's cool. That's fine. At least 40% of my balance is preserving its capital. So it's doing its job. It's doing its job. And when we see like some positive things come through, we'll look at reworking this again into more of an equity, more of a aggressive type of portfolio, probably more towards balanced and growth than accelerated growth. Though I'm not going to set this to 0. That's fine. Shares, not much has happened in terms of shares at the moment. Earnings season is over, so it's just waiting till the April/May, April-May part of the year where more companies may or may not announce some dividends, just with this situation going on. But at the moment, still sitting pretty solid at 2.4k yearly income, and we're just looking to beat that next year. So the main interesting thing would be Spaceship, where we're putting in a little bit more of a aggressive type of deposits. So on average, in a bear market, the market would drop, or the market would go negative. So as the market goes more negative, just placing a regular, on average, $50 a day per trading day. The problem with Spaceship at the moment is there's at least a 3 to 5 business day trading period, or like there's a wait time before your transactions are effective. And so if you notice the market go down and you're like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna buy in, expecting like a certain amount of shares, by the time it actually does go through, then it could be at a higher, it could be at a lower price. At the moment, it's too volatile to tell. So just the idea of having a deposit of $50 on each of the trading days, and probably maybe not Saturday or Sunday as well, to get the US markets like last trading day as well. But yeah, just maintaining this as it's a different type of ETF as well. These shares are still doing their thing. Super's remaining defensive, and we're doing okay. Yeah, so overall, this is probably going to be one of the most interesting weeks ever. Only second, and this could only be second to the next day being the most interesting. The next week being the most interesting week ever. Just watching these cases rise, and more people going into quarantine, more people more businesses shutting down, um, and whether there would be a call for a total shutdown. Because the idea is that the whilst this is still going for at least 6 months, while the virus is going for at least 6 months, the inevitability of an Australian recession is also there. So, um, so you might as well just try and stem uh, stem the infections as much as possible if people have already lost their jobs. So, yeah, very interesting. But I'm probably going to leave it there for now. Some other quick things would be that state borders have also been locked down as well, so going interstate is a little bit difficult, and some schools are staying open in Queensland, as far as I'm aware, but New South Wales and Victoria are closing sometime this week as well. There's strikes going on. There's so many things going on. Because there's like a week's worth of news happening in a day. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and yeah, good luck over the next week.